11. Only 11 checked out. The manifest said 12.
He looked up from the tablet, scanning the quiet lobby. There it was, an untouched brown leather suitcase. Alone on the polished marble, a weathered Earth flag tag hung from the handle. The name read, Anthony Voss, Suite 4471. He led a security team to the 44th floor. The suite door opened to a room that looked unlived in. Folded, white linen clothes lay neatly on the closed suitcase. The closet was empty.
He didn't pack. He just left. No luggage. No note.
Vrel sent a high-priority inquiry to Terran External Affairs. The reply, 3 days later, was maddeningly brief. Subject Voss is at home in Cleveland. He is safe. No further information.
Safe? Then why does this room feel like a lie?
He forwarded the file to Director Salam with a single line. We have a problem. Director Salam met him in the security office before sunrise. Vrel had the footage ready.
Watch. Day 9 of his stay. He walks out of the resort gate at 9:42, carrying nothing but a small day pack.
The grainy security feed showed a middle-aged human in resort clothes, stride unhurried. He didn't look back. The exterior cameras tracked him to the edge of the city, where he disappeared into the crowd.
No evidence of coercion? No sign of mental distress?
None. He stopped at a cafe, bought a local pastry, and kept walking, like he was on a casual stroll.
Salam's bioluminescent markings flickered, a tell of deep unease. She turned away from the screen.
Launch a full internal sweep. Every record, every feed. I want to know exactly where he went and why Earth is lying.
They're hiding something. But what kind of operation makes a man abandon his own luggage?
The investigation expanded quietly. Earth offered no further explanation. The unanswered question hung in the air like dust. Vrel started with the groundskeeping staff. An old gardener recalled a Terran tourist 2 years prior who paced the paths with a small electronic device.
A measuring device? What exactly did he do with it?
The gardener shrugged. The human had simply walked, glancing often at the gadget, occasionally pausing to note something.
Walking with a pedometer or mapping the resort grounds?
Next, the resort bartender remembered a different human, the year before, who sketched the entire bar layout on a napkin.
Did he give a reason for the sketch?
Just said it was for his travel journal. The drawing was strikingly precise.
A cartographer, a surveyor. This isn't tourism, it's reconnaissance.
Vrel pulled up the Terran visitor logs. The skill sets listed in the visa files suddenly looked like an intelligence roster. He filed a preliminary report, possible pattern of illegal information gathering spanning multiple annual tourist cohorts. Salam called Vrel to the boardroom before the resort opened. The preliminary report had shaken her.
Show me everything. I want to see every Terran visitor file from the past 12 years.
Vrel pulled up the holographic records. 12 annual cohorts, 144 smiling faces. Every single guest review glowed 5 stars. No complaints, no incidents, perfect vacations, year after year.
Look closer. Their professions. Cartographers, linguists, surveyors, engineers. Not random. Each group had a purpose.
They were never tourists. They were operatives. Each one gathering a piece of our world.
Anthony Voss was the last. Retired civil engineer. Age 52. He walked out with something, but I don't know what.
Salam's bioluminescence flared a cold blue. She authorized a covert deep analysis. Reconstruct everything the humans might have extracted.
12 years of smiles, and we never saw it.
He closed the holo files, the ghost of 100 unremarkable faces lingering in the dark. Vrel spent 3 sleepless cycles pulling every public and private traffic camera that covered the city. He fed the fragments into a reconstruction algorithm, watching a glowing thread stitch itself across the hologram.
There, he stopped here, outside the primary power relay station, and here the municipal data hub.
He passed the Foreign Ministry Annex. and the Trade Consortium headquarters.
Every single stop was a strategic target. Infrastructure, government, commerce, it's all here.
The glowing path didn't wander. It cut a deliberate loop through the city's most sensitive districts.
He wasn't a tourist. He was a courier, walking a pre-planned route, years in the making.
Vrel merged the route with data nodes from past tourists, measurements, sketches, overheard conversations.
Director, this is not just a route. It's a complete topographic, political, and infrastructural map of our world.
Salam stared at the assembled intelligence, her markings pulsing a deep, agitated orange. Half a galaxy away, in a plain Terran government office, Kiera Vance watched a single encrypted symbol blink on her data slate.
Tour guide complete. Asset extracted. Full package en route.
Hours earlier, in a nondescript debriefing room, Anthony Voss sat with his hands folded on a metal table.
I walked the route exactly as planned. No deviations, no digital signature.
6 years of preparation had led to that single day. In a simulated alien city, Anthony had memorized every street, every landmark, every blind spot.
I could walk it in my sleep. Turns, distances, timing burned into muscle memory.
The treadmill beneath him replicated the exact elevation changes he would encounter.
You did exactly what was asked, Mr. Voss. No mess, no weapons, just a walk.
In her office, Kiera filed the final confirmation. Operation Tour Guide had delivered a complete intelligence profile of a sovereign alien world. The file Kiera reviewed wasn't just Anthony's route. It contained 11 years of quiet, precise observations. A botanist cataloged native flora, remarking on mineral signatures that hinted at hidden deposits. A couple jogged every dawn, pedometers hidden in their shoes, charting every pathway and side street. A linguist sat in a bar, recording political chatter through a lapel mic disguised as a souvenir pin.
None of them used digital devices on world. Pen and paper, memorization, muscle memory. No trail to trace.
A surveyor sketched structural supports of a government building, his drawing titled Sunset Study.
To the aliens, they were vacationers. To us, they were the best field agents we ever had.
When Anthony walked, he carried the assembled knowledge in his head. No device, no paper. The cooperative had invited its own infiltration, year after year. 12 spots, 12 perfect alibis. Operation Tour Guide was never a single act. It was a mosaic of 1,000 quiet, smiling betrayals. The Cooperative Oversight Board convened in closed session. Vrel and Salam projected the reconstructed intelligence map for all to see.
Every piece was acquired legally, but assembled it gives them a complete strategic picture of our world.
We traced 12 years of small, benign activities, each one harmless on its own, together a masterpiece of espionage.
Several board members demanded immediate public exposure. Others argued such an admission would make them a laughingstock.
If we go public, we admit we were fooled for over a decade by what we ourselves invited.
They're more afraid of embarrassment than of the actual intelligence loss.
The debate raged for hours. One faction wanted to charge Earth with violation of the spirit of the treaty. The other pointed to the fine print. Earth had never broken a single written rule.
They played us perfectly. And now we have to decide if we expose our own incompetence or simply swallow it.
No vote was called. The session ended in a deadlocked silence, the director's markings pulsing a conflicted violet. Director Salam opened a diplomatic channel. On the screen, Kiera Vance's face appeared, calm and unwelcoming.
Miss Vance, we have evidence your tourists spent years gathering intelligence on our world.
Director, I've reviewed your concern. Our records show every Terran visitor fully complied with cooperative regulations. They toured, commented on the cuisine, left tips. No rules were broken.
This was surveillance. Systematic, decade-long. You violated the trust of the program.
Trust was never codified. We simply accepted your generous invitation, exactly as worded.
The video feed ended. In her office, Kiera allowed herself a small, precise smile.
They have no legal case. We used their own hospitality against them, and it was perfectly, beautifully legal.
A message pinged onto her private channel. A single shrugging figure, nothing more, on the other side of the galaxy. Salam stared at the blank screen, realizing the cooperative had been outmaneuvered before it even knew the game had started. Salam and Rel stood before the fully compiled intelligence map, its layers peeling back to reveal more than topography.
Power grid vulnerabilities, trade dependencies, factional rifts, a strategic profile of our entire world.
Economic flows and political fracture lines overlaid the city map, exposing every weakness like a surgeon's cross-section.
They now know where to apply pressure to crack us politically, economically, militarily. We gave them the lever.
And Anthony walked it all out, memorized. No device, no transmission. A perfect analog courier.
The suitcase was a decoy, the folded clothes a final act. Nothing digital to trace, nothing to seize.
Brilliant. They didn't steal secrets. They strolled past our security with the map already in his head.
I spent a decade thinking they were tourists. They were the best operatives I never saw.
The room fell into grim silence. The cooperative had been outplayed at its own invitation. Salam dimmed the hologram. The breach was absolute. Now they had to decide, expose the shame or bury it. The board reconvened in closed session, the intelligence map still burning in their minds like a brand.
Exposure would be a self-inflicted wound. Earth broke no law. We must contain this quietly.
A tense vote was called. By a narrow margin, containment was chosen. No public scandal would reveal their humiliation.
We will draft a new agreement, stricter access, enhanced surveillance, limited movements.
Too late. The map is already gone. We're rewriting rules for a game we already lost.
The board authorized Salam to open negotiations. No public statement, no scandal, a silent, pragmatic surrender.
Director, the new terms need to include continuous monitoring. I won't be fooled again.
Salam nodded, her bioluminescent markings settling into a cold, resolved blue. The draft included mandatory GPS trackers, restricted zones, and a digital log of all activities. The old contract would expire. Earth would be invited to renew under a new surveillance clause. Director Salam opened a secure diplomatic channel to Earth. Kira Vance accepted the link with a calm, practiced tap on her data slate.
I am transmitting our renewal proposal. It includes continuous monitoring, restricted zones, and digital logging.
Kira's face remained impassive. She scrolled through the surveillance clauses with the detachment of a bureaucrat, reviewing a budget.
I have the document. Give me a moment. She knew this would happen. The restrictions were anticipated, and the map was already safe.
Within moments, she lifted her gaze back to the camera. Her expression registered nothing.
These terms are acceptable. I will forward a recommendation to my government.
The conversation lasted under 4 minutes. Polite, efficient, and utterly one-sided.
Kira allowed herself a small internal smirk. The prize was long gone. The rest was theater.
A provisional agreement was filed. Earth would sign the stricter contract within days, cheerily, as always. Vrel sat alone in his office, the data tablet dark, and opened a channel to Cleveland, Earth. After a brief delay, the screen filled with an image of a modest house, a vegetable garden vivid in the foreground. Anthony Voss knelt among tomato plants, a phone loosely held against his ear.
Mr. Voss, I am calling from the Teleran Cooperative. I have a few questions about your stay.
Of course. How can I help?
You left your luggage behind, Mr. Voss. People don't normally do that on vacation.
Oh, that old thing. I packed light for the trip home. The staff are so friendly. I am sure they'll send it back.
His voice was as calm as the garden around him. No tremor, no tell.
The resort was beautiful. Best vacation I've had in years.
Vrel ended the call with nothing but a hollow, infuriating politeness. The man was a closed book, serene and impenetrable. In a dim Terran intelligence office, Kiera Vance stood before a small group of shadowed colleagues.
The cooperative's new contract is signed. Monitoring, tracking, restricted zones, all anticipated and manageable.
She tapped a control, and the Operation Tour Guide emblem dissolved into a new objective.
Tour Guide 1 extracted a full strategic profile. Now we adapt and refine. They think tighter surveillance stops us. It just means we become better tourists. For Tour Guide 2, we'll recruit retirees, families, ordinary vacationers, people who naturally belong there.
A holographic map of the alien world lit the room, new target sectors pulsing softly.
They'll watch every move they can monitor, so we'll operate in the spaces they can't. In plain sight, as always. They invited us in once. They'll keep inviting us. And we will keep learning.
The room remained silent. The only sound, the soft hum of the hologram. Operation Tour Guide was far from over. The new security gates stood ready at the resort entrance, their sensor arrays calibrated and humming. From a high balcony, Salam and Vrel watched the first shuttle of the new contract descend. The hatch opened, and 12 Terran tourists stepped out, cheerful, clutching cameras exactly like the decades before.
Trackers are active. Every movement will be logged from the moment they cross the gate.
I used to see guests. Now I see potential operators. Every smile feels like a mask.
Below, a young woman paused to jot something in a small notebook, laughing with a companion.
She'll say it's a travel journal. We'll check every page.
It doesn't matter. They've already shown they can work outside the rules. We can monitor.
The group passed through the scanner gates, each triggering a soft chime of acceptance. A drone hummed overhead. The program continued, not with trust, but with a new, quiet equilibrium of mutual suspicion. Alone in his quarters, Vrel dictated his final security log into a silent recorder.
Case file 4471V. The Terran Cultural Exchange breach. No legal violation found. No restitution possible. For 12 years, they walked among us, gathering every detail. We never saw it. They used our hospitality as a weapon.
He paused the recording, staring at the empty suite that once held a smiling tourist.
A decade of my career, guarding against nothing. I will never trust a human smile again.
He resumed, his voice hardening.
Recommend permanent deep surveillance of all Terran visitors. Tag every movement, every conversation. Assume every smiling face hides a calculation. We'll never be safe.
He saved the file. The official record was complete, but the quiet sting of being outplayed never dimmed. Outside, the new tourists laughed by the pool, oblivious to the invisible war that had just ended. Late summer dusk settled over a quiet Cleveland street, the air thick with the scent of cut grass. On the wooden porch, Anthony Voss relaxed in a rocker, 2 grandchildren seated on the floor before him. The younger one tugged his sleeve. "Grandpa, what was the best part of your trip?"
The beach, softest sand I've ever walked on, and the sunsets, you wouldn't believe the colors.
A crayon, drawing on the kitchen fridge, showed a tall building under 3 moons, stick figure in front.
Loveliest vacation of my life. I'd tell anyone to go.
Through the living room window, the phone sat silent on the coffee table, the world beyond, strangely still. The older boy asked if he'd go back. Anthony's smile was easy, unhurried.
Maybe someday. It's a long journey, but worth every mile. And I'd walk those streets again without a second thought.
That same day, a brief press conference was called on Earth. Kiera Vance stood before a semicircle of alien journalists.
A routine data entry error caused a temporary discrepancy in the departure log. The tourist, Mr. Voss, is safe at home.
Her tone was flat, her eyes unblinking. No follow-up questions were accepted. Simultaneously, the Teleran Cooperative issued a parallel notice from its government building. The text was sparse. A minor booking discrepancy had been identified and corrected. Across a dozen news feeds, the headline confirmed, "Resort reports minor booking discrepancy. Terran visitor accounted for. The story flickered through the news cycle and died. A tiny footnote in a galaxy of larger concerns. Diplomats on both sides exchanged quiet assurances. The incident would not be mentioned again. The official records were closed. The breach remained buried beneath a smooth, cooperative silence. And on a quiet porch in Cleveland, the evening deepened. The secret held safe within an old man's smile. Hours before that porch, Anthony stood in suite 4471 and folded his linen clothes atop the closed suitcase.
No need to carry this. The only weight I am taking is between my ears.
He looked around the immaculate room, a decade of strangers' efforts distilled into the quiet hum of his own memory. The security footage later showed a retired engineer in a floral shirt walking through the lobby without a backward glance.
I am not a spy. I am just a man who took a long walk with a full head.
The gate sensor recorded his exit at precisely 9:42. The suitcase remained, a hollow stand-in for the real cargo. He thought of the 12 years of measurements, the overheard jokes that mapped political rifts, the sketched silhouettes of defense grids.
All of it, neat and ordered, waiting right here.
He disappeared into the city, a ghost with a library, leaving only an empty bag and a perfect, unbroken alibi. Someday, they'd find the suitcases, but the map was already home. Days after the story died, Salam and Vrel stood on the same balcony, watching the new tourists by the pool.
They taught us a lesson without firing a shot. I can't even be angry.
They turned leisure into intelligence. We gave them the keys and they mapped the locks.
They were the most dangerous tourists in history. Politeness without pause, smiles without secrets.
Below, a human tourist did a handstand in the shallow end, splashing his companion.
And now, we watch them more intently.
Yes, but we know now. That is something.
A shared silence settled between them. Neither victory nor defeat, but a new, colder understanding. The human laughter drifted up, light and untroubled. The sound of people who were exactly where they wanted to be someday. The cooperative might even invite them back with a smile, and mean it. Months later, the leather suitcase sat on the sun-warmed porch, its lid thrown open. Soil filled its corners where folded linen had once rested. A cluster of tiny pink blossoms had rooted in the earth that once held a mission. The Earth flag tag hung from the handle, bleached by sun but still legible. Beyond the porch, the quiet Cleveland street hummed with the sounds of a plain summer afternoon. No one passing by would guess that this planter had once carried a decade of international secrets. The operation was long finished, its only physical remnant now feeding the roots of something new. In the background, a garden trowel stuck in the earth, and beyond it, the silhouette of a man pruning tomato plants. The suitcase that fooled an alien government had become exactly what its owner had been. A quiet, rooted, ordinary thing, and on a planet far away, new tourists arrived, unaware that the quietest wars are won by those who never seem to fight. The resort entrance at dawn, the same crystal pillars, the same golden light. A new shuttle descended, its markings unchanged. 12 faces appeared in the windows. Young, old, families, a retiree with a camera. The hatch sighed open. A small drone banked silently overhead, its sensor eye a glassy bead in the sky. The tourists didn't look up. One man carried a folded map in his pocket. A resort brochure, he'd say. Another paused to photograph the orchid gardens. The scanner gates chimed softly as each wristband registered. 1,000 ticks of data began their journey to a distant console. The resort had seen this before. Smiles, tips, 5-star reviews, the endless machinery of hospitality. The galaxy was vast and cold, filled with powers that did not trust. But humanity had learned a simpler path. Explore, listen, remember, then walk home with the map in your mind. Not conquest, just a long vacation. The drone circled once more, then vanished into the sun. Below, The new tourists ordered drinks and unfurled towels. The 15th year of the program began exactly like the first. Only this time, everyone was watching.